Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, Moletrap and Diggity and Moletrap. Here we are casting games. This is Flash versus Pure. This is game 3 of the KoreanAir OSL Semifinals. Group A, apparently. Apparently you need group letters to represent the semifinals when there's only 2 of them. But yes, we've seen some more of the epic intro. Every single time I like this intro. It's mostly because of the music. Although I'm not actually listening to the music right now, so I don't like it as much. But we get to see programmers jumping sillily. What is the adjective for when you're silly? What is the adverb for when someone is doing something in a silly fashion?
Goofy?
Goofily? Anyway.
Blah.
Regardless. This should be an interesting match. We've seen Pure put up a darned good fight for a couple games in a row now, and just the luck is not with him today, nor the force. Neither one. There's a I don't know if it has any more, but the bathrooms at the casino at the Star Trek Hilton in Las Vegas. You'd go in there and it would like sense your presence and it would say, "May the luck be with you," because it was a casino and it was trying to be all sci-fi. That had a lot of bearing on this situation, in fact, which is on match point.
So yeah, on match point, I don't know how Flash is gonna be able, or I don't know how Pure is gonna be able to pull out of this. This is one of those maps where it's just really difficult playing against a player like Flash who can cheese you or not cheese you or play solid or whatever, where you just got a lot of options like that, where it's hard to defend your third expansion against anything, particularly siege tanks over the ridge. I don't know. I still got to favor Fash in this. Fash? Can't say his name for some reason. I keep like going like Frash. Fash. I don't know what it is.
Just say
maybe it's because I just want to call him Lee. Yeah, that's much easier. Anyway. Yeah, I gotta favor Flash in this match as well. He's going to be starting in, wow, come on colors, there we go. In purple in the upper right hand corner. We have Pure starting in blue in the bottom left.
Indeed we do. This is a very interesting map for Terran versus Protoss, because you have kind of a double-edged sword of sorts in the way that the map is constructed. The Terran, it's hard for the Terran to defend in like a mid-late game, because once they get those bases, you tend to just go along the side of the map. So for instance, Flash is in the top right, his natural expansion is a little below that, there's a third base mineral only below that, and then there's another base in the bottom right below that, and so players tend to go in a line down that side of the map. But once they get to that point, it's really hard to defend because you have to spread yourself so thin, even more so than before when I was mentioning on the other map. You have a long line that you have to defend, and part of that line is on this weird tall ramp with a wide open space that's easy to get some forces in a surround and run in zealots. And oh my god, is he gonna 12 next again? Is he seriously gonna do it again? It's wow. Well, I mean,
3 in a row.
You gotta do something to try and out macro Flash, I guess. But I really wish Pure would try to do some kind of a cool, you know, early Reavers or something like that. Try and do a Reaver harass build instead of trying to do a macro build against Flash of all people. Anyway, just to finish my thought real quick, they expand all down the right, and then it's hard for them to defend, but then the opposite side of that is that it's such a small map, there's not many expansions. So if the Terran can secure those 4, and then one other, try and secure 12 o'clock or 6 o'clock, then normally when the Terran is turtle up like that, the Protoss wants to expand everywhere, but there's nowhere left to expand. So the Protoss still ends up having both an advantage and a disadvantage at the same time in that situation. Anyway, so the Nexus is up. Flash is just going normal build here. We'll see if he tries to make an attack again. He's not gonna. Pure's not gonna have the luck of being scouted late because there's only 2 spawns on this map. So.
And I think Flash anticipation, he did keep 3 SCV on gas. I think he might be going for a 2 factory push or something along those lines. Maybe something a little bit more gas heavy to start, which honestly, after getting 12 Nexus twice in a row, I would expect it the third time, because, worked twice, or he did it twice. can't assume he's gonna mix it up now. But never mind. I thought I saw 3 SCVs go up there. Maybe he just got enough gas to build the factory and switch it up. Bulldog T-shirts with something on the back. Wish I knew what that said. But yeah, I really feel like the critical stage is going to be if Pure can survive once you have that third base situation, and unless Flash is trying to play defensively and sit back in it. Because yeah, you got that third base, you have a ramp going down into it. Sometimes players try to take the 12 or 6 o'clock instead, but then reinforcing is near impossible, so you have to take an aggressive stance to try to secure either of those. Stance? What's with me and the SHs today?
I don't know, man.
But still, I don't know. Nevertheless, I think Flash, he's going to take a late expansion, but he did fine doing economic catch-up last time. Did a good job of psyching Pure out, and I expect him to do the exact same build he did the last 2 matches as well. Keep that SCV a little bit longer and then take a quick third. The one issue is now that quick third is a lot more exposed.
Yeah, definitely. Flash, by the way, is now floating his racks down. It looks like he's going to try and set up shop. We've seen him go for a quick third every single game once he spotted these 12 Nexuses. And I'm curious if he's going to do that again. It'll be more difficult for him to set up that quick third, I think, on this map. Kind of like what you were talking about. So I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. But in the meantime, a Zealot's going to run in here and start harassing. Going to try and slow down that base. He's going to get the SCV to cancel off the command center. Right back on, though. Doesn't waste low. Is he going to go? The SCV gets away. Woo! Lost a little bit of time on that command center, so Flash is going to lose about 5 minerals worth of mining time, unfortunately. Got some vultures out, though, so he could be doing some counter harassment himself as his SCV gets chased out of the base. So Flash is not going to have any information about what kind of tech Pure is going to go for. So I don't know. Let's see. Okay, Pure. Let's see if Pure will plant down robotics facility and more gateways and put some pressure on this time. And there's the third command center. He's building it right there. So Pure, like you said, Flash should have expected 12 next again from Pure. Pure needs to expect this quick third base again and put some pressure on Flash this time instead of just trying to out macro him, which is going to be even worse on this map.
Nice. I like that bait. He was like, haha, I got a vulture attacking you on the high ground. Dragon's like, oh yeah, I can kill you, you're a vulture, runs in and gets absolutely face splattered. Yeah, if Pure decides to play this the same way he did the last 2 matches, I can't think he's going to be like, oh, well, that didn't work last time or the time before that, so it's going to work now, right? I really like the mine placement here, and it looks like Flash's plan is to just use vultures to put enough pressure and constantly do these harassment methods until he can secure that third base, until he can get some tanks out there. But it's going to be really tricky because with that third base at that very vulnerable location, he's going to need to basically use these vultures almost as kind of sniper suicide squads sneaking in Dragoon forces that are trying to put pressure. And if he does end up losing any sort of map control, Pure is going to be able to really bonus up and exploit it.
Yeah, definitely. He's putting down a couple more gateways now. We don't see any tech yet that I've noticed. I don't know. Does he have a robo yet? I didn't see if he had one yet.
Yeah, he had a robo.
Okay, well,
he has the robo.
The robo is extant, and still Flash on 1 factory. 4 gateways versus 1 factory. That means Pure should go run him over right now, but guess what he's going to do? He's not going to, is he? I'll bet you he's not going to. Pure, just go attack. What are you doing? Kill.
Nope.
Maim. Go for the throat.
Attack. So he's going for his third as well. It's, again, exact mirror of Game 1, Game 2. Pure had, unfortunately, not adjusting his game plan. You would have thought he would adjusted from Game 1, Game 2, but no, instead he's taking this on a very, especially against Vultures, a very harassable base. It looks like now he's going to try to switch to Arbiters again. Hopefully, instead of trying to go for the 4th and 5th and take that economic lead, he'll go for a recall across the main, because that's very effective on this map.
Yeah.
Because, again, it's so long, and because you're trying to defend that third, it can be so difficult. It can be a really, really nice thing to do, just catch all those units out of position. But honestly, the way this is going, I almost feel like Pure is going to try to go for those expansions again, play the stereotypical thing, and Flash is either going to out-macro him or just excuse me, a voice cracking up all of a sudden, run him over both directions, because I mean, did it game 1, did it game 2? I can't expect a different outcome from game 3.
Yeah, Arbiters are definitely the more effective choice on this. Excuse me. Wow.
Nice, bless you. Sneeze commentary.
Sneeze and Terry going on here. Because, like I was saying, you spread yourself so thin, the Arbiters are super effective at that point because, like you were saying, you can run into the main, and then while they're running the forces back up to the main, you recall the bottom right, etc., etc. You can keep them off guard really well with Arbiters that way, but I still think he's made a mistake by not attacking Flash. He had one factory! He had, like, a tank! He had a tank and, like, a couple vultures. And, anyway. Well, he's trying for macro.
I think it might be the mighty SCV that has 60 hit points. Because keep in mind, SCVs are mighty warriors, and the fact he got that third that command center up, he was able to build a lot of SCVs. So yes, he could have attacked, but then all those SCVs would have been attacking, and that's just asking for trouble because they're so strong as a unit.
Yeah, it's true. You kind of need high-tech units. You need those arbiters to stasis the SCVs. And what the crap did that guy bring? What was going on there? Was that real or was it fake? I couldn't even tell. It looked real.
The insanity cast now.
I'm so confused. I don't know what's going on. It looked real, but then like he was just shaking it around and it wasn't really moving. So then I thought it might have been fake. Some kind of a rodent in the audience apparently. Not a mole though. Not a mole. Flash now has his factories up. So, and of course Flash's factories. He's actually, because Flash is actually secretly in the StarCraft 2 beta, he actually, all of his buildings get reactors, like StarCraft 2. They can produce twice as many units as normal factories. Little known fact there. So somehow Flash is able to get tons of units out without having any money to put into his factories at all. And here he is again. I missed it there, but that was at least 8 factories. So he is again going to be putting out crap loads of forces from 4 bases worth of mining here. And Pure is once again going to run around and get hit by mines apparently.
Yeah, Pure playing very defensively. He's not got a lot of troops out, period. He's basically stuck to just a couple Dragoons, took another expansion up for left. He's been playing defensively as though, I don't get it. I think the problem is he's not looking at the replays or something in between matches to realize that he's economically behind, that he's in a situation where he needs to go up and attack Flash, and that he can't just play this economic ride game. I mean, he's not, maybe he's just trying to play best style, but Flash is just out macroing him every single time. Speaking of insanity, you know, they say one of the textbook definitions of insanity is expecting different outcomes from the exact same thing. You know, you have the same inputs, and then you expect a different outcome. And here, Pure doing the exact same thing, 3 matches in a row now, and he's expecting to win all of a sudden. I just don't see that happening. Although it looks like he is trying to take a ninja expansion. This is very creative at the 1 o'clock position.
Yeah, he's going for that, but I'm not sure how well that'll go down. He looks like he's trying to clear out 6 as well. If he could take 12 and 6 and hold them, that's going to be key. But even that, I mean, there's nowhere else he can go, so it's going to be 4 bases versus 6 bases at that point. But I don't think Flash is going to let him keep 12 o'clock. We see a lot of Terrans will put tanks on the very left side of their base up there, and then drop a couple tanks just barely inside that ridge, so that the tanks in their base protect the tanks on the ridge, and the tanks outside their base are... Oh, nicely done, stasising a tank on the ramp so he can't get up to reinforce this base. The Arbiter coming in here, cloaking all these units coming in. There's only a single tank there. The Vulture's taking a lot of hits, but finally he breaks through, and the tanks are sieged up on the low ground. But, oh, he's going to try and glitch. No, it doesn't work. Almost glitches the tank out of the way. It looks like he's just the dancing tank glitching back and forth.
I didn't even know you could do that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
You can use the SCV movement glitch to force things in stasis to move. Doesn't work though, and he's actually forced to lift that base. So finally something going well for Pure. It turns out that insanity can be made manifest in reality if you're that bold. I mean, Pure is not by any means pulled off a win yet, but at least he's managed to do some damage and actually put some pressure on Flash for the first time this series.
Suddenly a counterattack though. It looks like Flash is going to wander up with those units that he was stuck behind, wipe out all the Dragoons with some nice mine placement, and he is going to be able to counterattack and take that 12 o'clock, it looks like, with those siege tanks over the ridge like you were talking about. Looks like one of the siege tanks is going to get taken out by a cannon before it can do anything. It's like, quick, unsiege! Yes, that will help your life. And a bunch of mines left over, killing, just really thinning the herd. This is nice placement here by Flash. There is an Arbiter, so it looks like he might be able to save the base. But no, Pure is still running headlong into a lot of these mines. Vulture's running up. It's going to be able to clear it, so that'll effectively stop mining there briefly. But Flash obviously wanted to do more damage than that. What this is going to do, though, this is going to give Flash time to replant that command center bottom right and repopulate it with the SCVs. That's the one thing about that attack bottom right. While that did stop mining time, he wasn't able to take the command center out, and it didn't look like he got a lot of SCV kills either. In the meantime, Pure, I gotta say, he's in a much better position now than he was before. Definitely hasn't won it yet, but now after all my ranting, it does look like Pure is in a pretty solid position if he can stop expending so many of his troops just headlong running through mines. And if he can keep these bases running. He's trying to take 6 o'clock. I almost feel like getting a little bit, overextending himself a little bit, trying to take 6 o'clock as well. I mean, yes, he had done damage to Flash, but he still hadn't gotten a large attack force to really maintain map control. Basically, map control was still breached, and he's paying for it now. Looks like he's going to end up losing a lot of probes.
Wow, yeah, sending in the probes a little bit too early there before the vultures were completely cleared out, loses a few extra, but, whoa, excuse me, totally caught my throat there. Pure going for carriers now. Didn't learn his lesson, apparently, from game 1, and is going for carriers against Flash on this map. I'm not sure why he's not just recalling. Well, I guess, you know, I am okay with this a little bit, because Terrans have gotten really good at defending recalls on this map as a result of the fact that they were so effective. And we do see Flash mining and turreting the crap out of his lines over there on the top right. So I guess switching to carriers might not be that bad of an idea after all, especially if you can get away with it without Flash scouting it, despite the fact that Flash has a map hack and already has Goliaths coming out and is already upgrading Charon boosters at the machine shop. So never mind. Pure is once again going to get caught in the midst of his tech switch, and it's not going to be good. Whoa, that's a lot of Stargates.
Maybe he comsatted it. Yeah, he keeps doing this too, where he's building, I almost feel like, too many Stargates to really get it out in time. I think what's happening is Flash is like, wait a minute, he doesn't have troops anymore. He has fewer troops than he should have, and that's always the biggest indicator. Hey, tech switch. And so really, wow, running in actually having a really nice attack from the rear to thin these troops out. This actually might make those carriers more effective, or might buy him some time to get those carriers. He needs to preserve as many troops as possible. I almost feel like he should be a little bit more defensive than this, even though he is taking out a lot of troops, doing a really nice job with it. Just split that right across the middle. Arbiter's killing a lot, losing some Dragoons to the south, but this is the thing, is even if he takes out all of this army to the north, if Flash comes around and is able to take out the rest of that army, looks like he's losing the 6 o'clock base though. Yeah, if this happens, he loses all those Dragoons. He's not going to be able to have any follow-up troops with all those carriers in the bank to stop the next push that comes out from Flash.
Yeah, he did take out a lot of Flash's army though, and if he had the money to, well, if he had the money to get on another round of ground units, he could clean this up and save his 6 o'clock base. But you're right, those carriers are in the bank right now. They're not able to be used. That's a lot of money that's just tied up for the moment, and it's money that's not going to be able to come and save this 6 o'clock base. Although he does have a couple carriers, I'm surprised he's actually not sending them in to try and save that 6 o'clock base from those couple tanks right now. There's really no reason not to. It's obvious that Flash has already scouted his carriers, so he's not hiding anything from Flash. Well, I guess maybe it's not obvious to Pure, even though I think he saw a couple Goliaths in there before. But Flash, again, you know, he still has 4 bases, so if Pure can keep those bases, he can theoretically pull this off, but he just lost the Nexus at 6 o'clock, I believe, so things not looking good for him. And now Flash actually going in with a bunch of Vultures, laying down tons of mines, and now going in here, maybe, yes, going in to kill some probes as well. Those 3 cannons are going to take out those Vultures eventually, but Pure just lost a base. He can't really afford that right now. And what is this going on? He's going to go in for a little mini recall. No, he's going to turn back, actually, and not go in for that recall, which is actually too bad. I think that would have been a good move to keep some pressure on Flash right now and take out that bottom right base right as he's mining out his main and almost his natural expansion.
Wow, and now, yeah, he's going to have the carriers that he had in the bank out, but he's not going to have any economy to follow this up. So Flash just wreaking absolute havoc in that timing switch. So you're going to see a couple carriers, but I don't expect to see much more than this, because it feels like almost every probe has died on the map, and the few that aren't dead are on death row with that big attack force to the north.
Yeah, definitely. This 12 o'clock expansion is feeling the pain, and if that goes down, Pure will once again be not mining very much at all. And here we go. The carriers coming in here is only a few Goliaths. This time, instead of 4 Goliaths meeting 2 interceptored carriers, they're meeting a full half squad of carriers with interceptors, with an arbiter there as well. So those carriers are going to be able to do more than enough damage to those Goliaths. But now another half squad of Goliaths coming in to reinforce as well. So it's going to be carriers versus Goliaths. It's going to come down to micro, and Pure's going to have to make a lot of use of those ridges, more use than he is now, if he's really going to come out ahead. Although it looks like Flash is just aiming at the interceptors, and Pure is coming out ahead there.
Yeah, the interceptors, it really comes down to upgrades with that, is how far the Goliaths have the upgrades, if they can just nail them, if they can just survive underneath to kind of drain them. And keep in mind, all those probes taken out, not a lot of minerals being mined. Looks like Pure being very clever, able to run some troops in while those tanks and Goliaths and everything else are being occupied, though. And there's a lot of carriers out, but I still feel like Pure's got to do it with the troops he has on the ground. And Flash still moving forward with this army, even though it's getting assailed from up above. It looks like he has level 2 weapons, by the way. Still going to press forward and try to just go into an elimination match, it almost feels like, and try to stop all that mining. If he can stop that mining upper left, it is going to be almost impossible for Pure to win this. But Pure, in the meantime, he's managed to stop mining bottom right, so it could just be like, yeah, who has the units left? It looks like Goliath's trying to hunt down a bulk of carriers there, crashing down. It looks like meeting right in the middle. The Vulture still wailing at that 3 o'clock. Some tanks to the upper left. Doesn't look like any carriers can split off to try to defend that. Arbiter taken out as well. And again, yeah, I think that's going to be it for the production of Pure. But keep in mind, Flash's economy has also been severely damaged. So if Pure can maybe just pick off this Goliath, oh, never mind, he's got another group of Goliaths out there. I think that's going to be it. There's just too many Goliaths and not enough carriers. There's like what, 5 zealots on the board to try to thin those Goliath herds, and I don't see that happening. That didn't have enough economy for Storm to thin that out as well. But it's going to be really close, nevertheless, because Flash, yeah, doesn't have any mining otherwise, but he's just got a big army on the ground.
Wow, and those Goliaths finally tracking down one of the carriers, starting to lose carriers now to those Goliaths. And he was pretty clever before, actually, targeting the tanks, just avoiding the Goliaths altogether instead of trying to engage them and picking off those tanks. He picked off almost all of Flash's tanks as Flash tried to make his way across the map. Was not quite enough, though, and he ended up losing top left to 3 tanks. For some reason, Pure didn't want to just send a few zealots up there to take that out. And now his carrier's getting tracked into it. Oh, man. And this is why he's got to use those ridges better. And well, I mean, at this point, he doesn't have anywhere for his carriers to run. Pure is not mining. Okay, correction. He is mining off 3 patches at his natural expansion, which is effectively at this point not mining. He's losing interceptors. He's down in supply. Flash is taking the 12 o'clock base. I think any moment there when we may see a GG from Pure. As soon as he loses those interceptors, basically, he's going to be out of the game and out of the OSL, and Flash is going to be advancing to the finals here. All he needs to do is just take out those carriers to clinch it. And taking the top left base as well, just to, wow.
Rub it in. It's almost pseudo BM right there. He's like, screw it, taking that base too, even though you can see the SCV track. It's almost like an ant line right there, moving across. It is an actual strategic move, though. By taking that top left, that's going to force some sort of attack unit up to that corner, and the Goliaths will be right there to try to engage should they decide to try to push up and take that base. In the meantime, yeah, just a couple Dark Templar out in the field to try to get some economic damage done. But honestly, I think Flash could just comsat and use SCVs to kill those Dark Templar probes, almost running headlong at the Goliath there, trying to move to the 6 o'clock, which isn't even secure. So yeah, right now, there it is. There's the comsat. Go get the DTs. Actually need to use that comsat to take. DT gonna be able to make it out. Nice game of hide and seek right there. But even so, he's losing interceptors and losing minerals. Go ahead.
Sorry, I think Pure needs to go last ditch dive and just dive into Flash's main and start picking off like command centers and try and take out the comm set and then come out with some DTs or something like that. Just do something, some kind of crazy base trading thing, because I think that's all the possibilities that he has left. I mean, Flash just took 2 more bases. He immediately Maynarded SCVs over to them, so they're running almost full. And he's just got to. He can't engage those Goliaths with his carriers anymore. He's just got to use the hand of death to do its job and avoid the Goliaths until he can kill some command centers and try and force Flash to play on his terms for a little bit. He does take out 1 command center. There's the Goliaths coming in. Avoid them. Yes. Run away. Run away. That is the way to victory, is to run away and try to just pick off things where he can, because he's like barely distance mining a little bit right now, and once he loses those carriers, that's his last lifeline right there.
Whew, yeah, phone a friend is not gonna happen. I almost feel like his best option here would be get his fans to just start pelting Flash's pro gamer booth, like out there with like some rocks or some change or something to try to distract him maybe. But he's running headlong
suicide,
into it. It's almost like a minefield for air units. Suicide just running into it. Tired of life. There's GG. Flash advancing again.
Very happy, looking very excited to go to the finals.
Man, yeah. So Flash advancing once again, which I think was a safe prediction if you're putting money on this. He's just so good, and another contender. Yeah, he's just unbelievable. The cyborg Flash, so dominant.
Definitely. And Flash, by the way, is going to be facing in a couple weeks. Well, next week is the other semifinal, semifinal B, between Effort and Cal, and that should be very interesting. That's going to be a really fun match to watch. And Flash is going to be moving on to face the winner of that. So he's either got a TVZ or a TVP in the finals. And that is all it stands between him and another OSL Gold right now. Although, you know, I wouldn't put it past Effort or even more so Cal to give Flash a run for his money in the finals. We'll have to see how that goes. But that is definitely going to be an entertaining finals. It's not going to be a complete slouch match or anything like that. I was going to say Flash versus Movie, but I'm biased against Movie. That was actually a pretty good set against Movie there. But anyway, some good stuff. Gotta feel bad for Pure, but at the same time, dude, give yourself a pat on the back. You know, you made it to the semifinals and you got eliminated by the best StarCraft player ever. So, you know, you deserve some props.
No shame. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for listening.
Take care. GG.
한 경기도 따내지 못한 아쉬움이 크긴 하겠습니다만 그래도 이번 대한항 몬스터리그를 통해서 박세웅 선수가 가장 많이 성장을 했고요. 예, 그래도 이렇게 첫 4강에 오르는 기염을 통하지 않았습니까? 나름대로 좋은 경험이 됐을 겁니다. 다음 기회 여기서 끝이 아니면 박세웅 선수도 보여줘야 되는 겁니다.
맞습니다. 이영호도 계속 무한성장하고 있는 것처럼 박세웅도 지금부터입니다. 이제 4강 플레이어로부터 올라가는 거예요. 그냥 16강, 36강 플레이어 박대부터 시작하는 것이 아니라 딱 4명, 대한민국 수백 프로게이머 중에 딱 4명 안에 꼽히는 선수, 이게 박세종의 새로운 출발선입니다.
아, 내가 정말 열심히 했지만 열심히 해도 안 되는구나가 아니라 내가 정말 열심히 했지만 그래도 이 형한테는 안 되는구나. 야, 나는 여기까지구나. 그래도 4강 왔으면 잘 됐어. 잘했어. 그래 나도. 이게 아니라 박세종은 그래도 내가 부족했으니까 된 거야. 이런 생각을 해야 됩니다.
그럼요.
그런 생각